cost $10 and will be free for victims of identity theft. The freeze will stay in place until the consumer asks for it to be lifted. Presently, there are 39 other states that have similar legislation. The second way the Senate is moving to protect consumers is through security breach legislation. This legislation, which will be taken up by the Senate Commerce Committee next week, will require that companies that hold personal financial information, such as credit card information, tighten access to that information. It will also outline who this information can be shared with and increases the accountability that businesses have for maintaining security of this information. There have been instances in the state where people have had their identities stolen because of this breach and the lack of security. What this legislation will cover is retailers, chain restaurants, gas stations, and convenience stores, and those other businesses that are not already covered by federal legislation, particularly financial institutions. It will also outline who this information can be shared with and increases the accountability that businesses have for maintaining the security of this information. At this point, I'll be followed by Senator Kibbie.
Well, thank you for coming in this morning. This week has been a good week and a very important week in this session, and important bills passed. Core curriculum and smoking ban are part of our agenda this session, and next week we got a lot of important issues in subcommittees, and next week funnel week, and so we're continuing to work on those issues, and many, the IPERS bill and biodiesel bills and other infrastructure bills. The subcommittees, budget subs are still working on a very tight budget, and so it's all the day's work here, and we're moving forward.
What is the biodiesel?
There's an infrastructure bill that deals with the infrastructure fund that's already out there to allow to get more infrastructure pumps. It deals with the blending pumps, and the bill is designed, the higher the B blend, or the higher the biodiesel blend, the more you qualify for an infrastructure. So
is it the same as the ethanol?
It's similar to the ethanol that's out there today.
What are the must-do items on to meet the funnel?
Well, I don't have the list right in front of me, but every committee has got some priority bills that are not yet resolved. They're having subcommittee meetings, as you know. So there's several in state government. I think Senator Connolly's got 3 or 4 priority bills. And ag, there's 3 or 4. So I assume the other committees about the same way.
What are your thoughts about how likely the House is going to, how likely it is that the House will accept the Senate version of the smoking ban bill? Will this ever become law?
I don't want to speak for the House. My own prediction is that we'll pass a smoking bill before we go home. Whether it's a complete ban or not, I don't know that. But there's going to be a lot of interest in the bill that we passed in the Senate last night. That Iowans, I think, are going to be very satisfied.
Senator Warnstadt, what is the value in freezing your credit report for those people who don't understand that?
The benefit is it allows consumers, it empowers consumers to help protect access to their personal financial information. The various credit agencies have that information, and anyone, essentially anyone right now, can seek access to that information, and those credit bureaus will end up providing that information. What the security freeze allows is for a consumer to say, I don't want people asking about my credit. I don't have a need for additional credit. I don't want people asking about it. And in essence, it puts a firewall so that unauthorized entities do not obtain that information. Therefore, you help prevent identity theft.
So only those I'm confused on this one line here. Victims of identity theft, are they the only ones who can ask for this, or can
No,
anybody?
any citizen, any person can ask for it, okay? This is modeled on what the other states have done. If you are a victim of identity theft, you can make that application and there's no charge, okay? If you are a citizen who just wants to prevent anyone else from having access to that credit, you can make that application, send in $10, and that's all there is to it. Access to your account is frozen until you, the consumer, decide it gets lifted.
Have you ever had any wonkiness with your credit?
What's that?
Have you ever had any wonkiness happen with your credit?
With mine, I can't say for sure.
So you've never looked at your credit report and seen who was peeking at it?
I've checked my credit report, but we're also talking access to the credit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I have not, you can get access to your free credit report. It's authorized once a year. I have done that part, okay? But I can't prevent anyone from accessing that, which can end up impacting someone's credit score, which also has some negative side effects.
Who would you pay the $10 to?
The credit agency, there's 3 credit reporting agencies that take that fee.
So you wouldn't have to, if you had multiple credit cards, you wouldn't have to?
No. Make one application, one check, applies everywhere.
What are some of the Commerce Committee priorities heading into following?
I would say that the biggest issue that we're going to be looking to pass next week in Commerce is going to be long-term care insurance. We're going to take a look at providing some ways to provide additional protections for consumers to make sure that they're going to have confidence in that long-term care insurance product while still making sure that the product is readily available and affordable. So Senator Heckroth has that bill. He'll be bringing it up either Monday or Wednesday in Commerce.
Didn't the governor ask for you to limit rate increases to 12% or less per year on long-term care insurance?
I think that was part of his request, and I'm going to have to get with Senator. I can't tell you all the specifics of what Senator Heckroth is going to have as part of that package. But Senator Heckroth will have a package for additional protections on the long-term care insurance issue.
There's a subcommittee piece today on the gift card issue. Is that something that's going to be able as part of the funnel?
I believe so. Senator Stewart has been working tirelessly on that. He's been able to bring a lot of the entities that have, up to this point, been very resistant. He's brought a lot of opposing parties together on a measure that I think is going to have enough votes to pass. We'll see how that subcommittee works out, but we've made a lot of progress on that.
So that's in your committee, and can you tell us what that bill would do?
The gift card, okay, I'm trying to remember. The gift card bill, what it does is the treasurer's made a recommendation, made a proposal that would, how do I say this, basically allow for the full value of the card and not allow the retailers to retain all of that or set expiration dates on when that card has to be used by and a few things like that. So it is a consumer protection measure, and because Senator Stewart is working out some of those details, I don't know all the specifics behind the measure, but there's been a lot of instances where retailers are setting narrow expiration dates where people are not able to get the full value of the card. And then there's other things that there's some hidden fees oftentimes that also adversely impact consumers that is trying to be addressed by this legislation.
Has that ever happened to you? You look in your wallet and say gift card and then find out that that $100 is all of a sudden $75 or something else. Has that happened to you? Or
you guys are really interested in my personal I can't say that it has happened to me, but I have had this happen to constituents who have raised this as a concern.
Have you ever stolen anyone's identity?
Are you now or have you ever been?
Would this address incremental reduction like the top 10%?
Again, I can't get into that. I don't know, because of that subcommittee is meeting today, I don't know all the specifics of what Senator Stewart is going to be doing. But the fact is, for a number of years, no progress was ever made. For a number of years, this institution, before we took control, completely ignored the issue. We're taking serious strides to try to find ways to protect consumers.